Hey, what's going on, everybody? Little football commentary for you as we come off our first preseason game, a game we lost 19-16, but nonetheless, we got to see our team in action for the first time since the end of last season. And there's some good, there's some bad. There's definitely lots of room for improvement with this team across the board. Um, you know, of course, we see the big arm of Trey Lance that everybody got to see, the whole world got to see yesterday, and that was super impressive. But there's definitely things that Trey Lance can work on, and we have a lot of questions um, in certain areas of our team that need to be answered. So hopefully, the Niners in these next couple weeks can answer those questions. So yeah, I'm going to get right to it. One of the first things I will say is that the Trey Lance debut was fantastic, but also it could have been a lot better. With a couple of the second string team offensive line played absolutely vicious, and they need to get better. Especially Aaron Banks. He did get hurt yesterday, but he has to improve drastically if he's going to beat out Daniel Brunskill, who's not really much better, honestly, to be completely honest with you. So there is that worry. And then the drops that he had, 3 drops on that initial drive that he had, and or not initial drive, his initial debut. Um, that touch was magnificent. You got to see what he could really do. His a play that it really showcased his arm strength and his ability to get the ball downfield, something we haven't seen with Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo had an average day yesterday, 3 for 3, and got in, got out. Everything was good. But yeah, that was quite disappointing to see the team kind of let him down a little bit, especially the second string offensive line, which a lot of people were worried about going in anyways. So the fact that it actually happened where the second team offensive line played as horrible as they did was definitely concerning. But yeah, it was cool. It was nice to see him, but I want to see him get better. He had a couple throws that were errant that could have been intercepted. So uh, it's good that he didn't go out and play perfect because it would have gave us a false sense of security. I'm definitely good that he struggled a little bit. So yes, some things he can work on. Niner Faithful said that Richie James might get cut after all those drops. Yeah, yeah, and Simba Webster might actually take his spot. I wouldn't be surprised. He was more of a asset last night. He showed that he could do good in the return game, and also he made a catch on one of those drives, I think from Rosen. Do you think Kyle is? Do you think Kyle is trying to see how good Trey? Yeah, offensive line was pretty rough, bro. Pretty rough. But I wish Trey could have got outside the pocket a little bit more and kind of saved his body. But at the same time, it was, uh, you know, Kyle had what he had drawn up, and that's the plays that they ran. I wish he would have been able to escape a little bit more, but he was getting pressured almost immediately. So, yeah, that offensive line needs to improve drastically if we're gonna, you know, for being second stringers. I know not, they're second stringers for a reason, but Aaron Banks played pretty bad. Um, so for a second rounder, he doesn't quite look the part. A lot of people are comparing him to the last guard that we had. I kind of think of his name right now, but yeah, he's not looking too hot right now for sure. Hopefully, he can get better. Hopefully, he gets back from his injury, and we'll get to see if he improves over the next couple weeks. Because if the Niners want to do anything in that passing game, they have to have pass protection. Even Trey Lance is gonna get hurt because he took some shots last night, and I was pretty upset that they let him take those shots. That offensive line played pretty horrible. Yeah, Banks is out for a couple weeks with the shoulder. I don't know exactly what the shoulder issue is, but trying to adjust my camera here. But it's definitely something of a concern. But who knows? Maybe he'll get to watch some film and reevaluate his own play and come out and play better because he played pretty horrible yesterday. Um, I will say though, I was very, very encouraged and I want to know if you guys think the same thing, by Juwan Jennings, a seventh rounder who sat on the practice squad last year. He looked really good, and I was very impressed. Trent Sherfield looks like he's a lock to make the roster. I hope Juwan Jennings makes the roster too. Um, the Niners need that big slot, and Juwan Jennings looks the part. He had 3 or 4 catches yesterday. He, we've been looking for that for a while to have that third guy. You have Sanu, you have Trent Sherfield, maybe Nasimba Webster too, possibly. And then, there's a couple other back end receivers that could make it. Do you wonder if Jalen Hurd's going to get there? I don't know about that. I am not positive that Jalen Hurd even makes his team. But now, with Richie James possibly playing himself off a team, then who knows? Maybe it'll actually happen. Justin Fields looked pretty good. Yeah, he was pretty average in the beginning, and then he kind of had it better later on. But he was going against the Dolphins starting defense, so I'm not completely shocked. But yeah, the corners they need to get better, but they're not as bad as I thought. Same thing with Hufanga, Talanoa Hufanga. He looks really good on special teams. I was very impressed. Speaking of special teams, man, wow, we're bad. We got a bad special teams, guys. Really bad. Our punter, Wisnowski, I don't know what's going on with him. He looks horrendous. They spent, a 4th-round pick on that guy, and that's what you're getting? Pretty upset. Yeah, our punter looks, I don't know if he wants to be there. They pan to him on the sideline, and he looks like he's in another plane of existence. So, Fernando, how's it going, Aaron? Going pretty good. I'm having some good days and some bad days. Today wasn't the greatest, but I feel a little bit better now. So, figured I'd get on. Goldblood says, I like Sherfield for the number 3 and Jennings right behind him. Yeah. For as much as we worried about that position, it looks like it's, health. Hopefully we keep healthy, but it's looking like, we might have some options there after all. And maybe we were all, including myself, a little premature to panic. So we'll see. 2 more preseason games. I would assume the next preseason game, I don't know how it's going to go, because you remember the third used to be the where you kind of play your starters the longest, and then the last preseason game you keep everybody out. I wonder how that's going to go now that we have one less. But like I said, keep as many starters out as possible. It doesn't really matter. You want to look at the back end of your roster anyways in preseason. So Fernando says, I don't think Richie James makes his team. I've been saying it. Yeah, I don't know. He's like Dante Johnson to me. It's how does he keep having a job? He's shown enough, I guess, to keep him on an NFL roster. But yeah, his game was bad yesterday. That return game, just the drops. Yeah, we're playing San Diego next. I think we practice against them this week, 2 days, and then we play them next Saturday, Sunday, whichever. I was stupid and actually ordered the preseason package, because if I have a YouTube channel, I figured I got to watch these games beginning to end. So I had to shell out some money to do it. But, I got a YouTube channel. I got to watch the games if I'm going to make videos based off of what I'm seeing. I can't just look at the box score and say oh yeah, we did this and that. So yeah, I played a little hefty penny to watch that preseason game yesterday, but it is what it is. Got to do what you got to do, right? Corner to me is still a concern, because you have the starters who are pretty much locked, and the young guys. The thing with the young guys is that they're still pretty raw. And Diamador Lenore, was right around the ball yesterday. He made that interception. It was fantastic. But Ambry Thomas still looks like he needs a lot of work. So this preseason is going to be vital to him. Sometimes it takes time to transition. So this might not be their best year, but maybe these guys come into training camp next year. Maybe the same thing with Aaron Banks. Maybe he comes into training camp next year and he's in better shape. knows what to expect, and then looks the part. Because I think Aaron Banks right now looks like a out of shape, chubby college player more than an NFL right guard. So hopefully things will get better for all those guys, especially Aaron Banks. The corners, they're not as bad as we once thought, but time will tell. The Niners could have done something to help their secondary in the offseason by signing a veteran, and they did not do that. So it might come back to bite them in the rear end, but who knows? Maybe there'll be a roster cut at the end of the preseason, and we can snag a veteran corner off of some teams. So who knows? Yeah, we play the Chargers next Sunday. Thank you very much, Niner Faithful. Your thoughts on Grant Cohn asking why he didn't use Lance? I'm kind of indifferent on that. Not indifferent. I feel both ways. I feel like, coach doesn't need to explain it to Grant, but at the same time, it's a valid point to get him out of there. But at least Grant has the stones to ask things that Kyle doesn't usually. Kyle is a pretty stern guy when he's doing interviews. He'll answer all the questions, but he can be a little bit stone-faced. And it was nice to see Grant kind of get under his skin a little bit. But at the same time, he did move him out of the pocket on that one to make that play that scored the touchdown. But yeah, he could have got him on the move and got him off that spot and not make him a sitting target. It was kind of aggravating to watch. But yeah, those backup offensive linemen played atrocious yesterday. So Jordan Matthews was beast mode on that one play. Didn't see that coming. Yeah, he put on a lot of weight. You see that? He put on like 15 pounds of bulk, muscle, fat, whatever. Yeah, he looks big. I don't know if he makes the team. Because, you got, of course, you got Kittle. You have Ross Dwelly. And then you have the other dude that I can't think of his name right now, number 89. And then who knows? Maybe he makes the team. We'll see. He can't make the team as a receiver because he's just too damn big now. But thought we would see some better runs, but the second unit on the line was bad. Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, they played horrendous. Hopefully nobody gets hurt, man, because if that's the case, man, we're in trouble. Is it Jalen Moore, that tackle? He looked pretty rough, but not as bad as Aaron Banks. It's Aaron Banks is playing out of position, though. I think he played left guard and now he's playing right guard, so maybe he needs time to adjust. Like I said, maybe this offseason and this season might not be his best. Maybe he comes in next year and looks better, but yeah, played pretty bad, that offensive line. You think Matthew is a lock, God's Hammer? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So, like, I wanted to again talk about the fact that like special teams is something that needs to be really coached up and done a lot better because we looked. It was just the whole aspect of returns, punt, kick coverage, everything was bad. So hopefully, Hightower can get these guys back on track, because as good as our offense could be this year and as good as our pass rush could be this year, if our special teams is trash like it's looking right now, man, that's a worry of mine. Field position, Wisnowski, again, like I said, I don't know what his deal is. Something's off with him. You spend that much on a punter, man, he should be all world, and he looks anything but that. So it's definitely going to be an interesting watch these next couple of weeks to see if we can, right the ship on the special teams. Yeah, both Banks and Moore gave up a sack. Yep. Yeah. Pretty much open door right to the quarterback. It was pretty bad, to be honest with you. No, I was not very happy last night with that. And seeing Trey take some shots yesterday was definitely something that I was not too happy about. He took some pretty big shots. The one where he got hit between two guys, that was concerning to me and definitely aggravating for sure. Definitely encouraged by Nsimba Webster, though. That kid can fly, and he's agile and quick and makes cuts. So hopefully he'll be our punt returner, and we can save Brandon Ayuk from doing that, because Honestly, I don't want our starting wide receiver to be there. Um, you think Webster's going to take Richie James' job? Bet that? Yeah, I'm thinking so too. He just makes plays. Dude, our special teams last year wasn't that great either. And turnovers was also a big issue of us last year. And that's something else we need to work on is the turnovers. We were one of the worst teams in the NFL with turnovers last year. Now, granted, most of those turnovers came because of the two horrible quarterbacks that we had in our roster, but definitely something else we got to worry about is the turnovers. I don't know about you guys, but Rosen is not impressive to me at all as the third stringer. I'm definitely going to want to look at the other guy whose name is escaping me right now next week. I guess because Trey had to play into the third quarter, he didn't get any reps, so we'll definitely see him this next game and see how well he does. But it definitely Rosen just I don't know, man. Like he makes one play that looks amazing, and then he makes the next play that looks like he just and he can't move. Right, exactly. I'm trying to take a look here to see what we can talk about. What did you guys think of Jermichael Hasty yesterday? He looked fantastic playing against that backup offensive line or playing with the backup offensive line. He looked fantastic. So he might not even make the team, like which is sad. He might not even make the team. He might go to either the practice squad or somebody else might pick him up. So I don't know. Maybe a guy like Wayne Gallman doesn't make the team and Jermichael Hasty ends up staying. But the Niners are deep as of now at the running back position. So I'm definitely happy about that for sure. Jonas Griffith played better than I thought. Yeah, he played fantastic yesterday. He was in everything. He was all over the field. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I agree. I had a bunch of notes that I was trying to keep, and I was one of the ones I was thinking about last night because I was thinking about going live last night, but it was just too late. The game ended at almost midnight out here, so I think it was like 11:30 or something when the game ended. So I was so tired from work that I made a quick video that really didn't do very well. So I figured I'd come back on here and talk to you guys. But yeah, Jonas Griffith played very well. Charlie Warner, he's a solid tight end. I'll tell you what though, was it him that caught that pass from Trey Lance when we were pinned at our 1 yard line? It's amazing when you have a quarterback that can hit the different levels on the field, that guys that usually don't get the ball will get the ball because the defense doesn't respect Jimmy's arm like they would Trey Lance. So it was nice that pass that he got from Trey was beautiful. And that was nice. I think it was up the right sideline. I think that was Charlie Warner. Yeah, he smashed that defender too. Kind of like rolled into him. I hate to say it, but Gallman is good as cut. Now, yeah, hopefully Hasty makes waivers, man. He looked great last night. The Niners have a pretty deep running back room as of now, barring injuries. But it was he looked good. Considering what offensive line he was playing with, he looked pretty fantastic. So, yeah, definitely one of the good points from last night's game. There was definitely watch one of our running backs get cut and go to a division rival, right? Kind of like DJ Reed went to Seattle last year. Horrible move. You imagine if he was on the team right now, we would have one less worry to think about. What's up, Jay? Thank you so much for the super chat, $4.99. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Jay's actually, you have a stream going on tonight yourself too. So thanks for copping in here before you do your thing, man. I appreciate it. Everybody go check out Jay in the Bay's channel. He's fantastic. I know most of you already have Jay in the Bay as one of your guys, but for anybody who hasn't watched him, go watch him. He's fantastic. He's engaging. He's funny. And he's really good with his 49er news and updates. He's on the ball. Don't you think the Rams would pick up Hasty if we try to put him on the practice squad? Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting because somebody's going to have to bite the bullet, and you wonder who that's going to be. Seattle's going to get one of our guys every year. Yeah, that's what sucks. But can they coach him up and use him the same way we do? That's the question. Because, our running backs coach is one of the best to ever do it. And he can make chicken salad out of chicken, you know what? And that's what he does to most of all these running backs that we have. So I think a lot of it is the ability, but also a lot of it is our coaching. Bobby Turner is one of the best running back coaches in NFL history. He's been with the Shanahans forever. The father, now the son. So I think Bobby Turner has a lot to do with how good these running backs are. Not saying that they're not talented. They are. But, you get a guy like Mostert who did pretty much nothing, and then he comes to the 49ers. He's got Bobby Turner as his coach, got Kyle Shanahan as his play caller, and he looks really good. So the Niners, one area hopefully they won't have to worry about this year is running back. Doing great, Fernando. How's your Sunday going? We can only keep 53 men on the active roster. It'll be interesting to see who gets signed to the practice squad. Right. I'm still holding out hope, just like Jay, for Jalen Hurd. I'm not super high on him, but hopefully he can do something in this next preseason game to warrant even a consideration to keep him on the roster. But yeah, I'm still holding out hope for the guy. He's a third rounder, but he's going to really have to show out and ball out for him to even be considered to stay. Because as of now, Juwan Jennings, Trent Sherfield look like locks. Nasimba Webster might get himself a roster spot just because of special teams. So, and I'm not super impressed with the receiver that we got from the Chargers that sat out last year. I'm trying to think of his name, but not super impressed. So we'll see. Has Hurd even been practicing? Yeah, I practiced, I guess, the last couple of days of training camp, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see if he can offer anything to this team and if we can end up keeping him. I would love to do it just because I think, you can never have enough bodies. I'm not even remembering Mohamed Sanu when I keep talking about receivers. So if we think about it right now, we at least have 5 set guys. We have Ayuk, Debo, Sherfield, Sanu, and Juwan Jennings. So those are 5. So if we can get, something out of the last 2, that'll be interesting. I like Craycraft as a number 5 and the punt returner. I'm not a big fan of Craycraft, to be honest with you. He does nothing for me. But maybe you're right. Maybe he balls out. All I know is these guys got to learn how to catch the ball from Trey Lance because I was highly irritated last night with the drops. Yeah, he was 5 of 14, and 2 of them should have been picked. But that pass rush also was getting to him like instantaneously, which affected some of his throws. And then of course you have the the drops. So you like Webster better than Craycraft? Yeah, I'm on that train right now too. But we still got 2 more preseason games. But as of now, I think Webster is a better player. Is David Dicastro still available? Guard from Pittsburgh. Not sure status with his injury, but not a bad player when healthy. Did he retire or something? We needed better. We need something. Oh, dude, you're preaching to the choir though. To me, Fable, that right guard position looks like a mess right now. Not happy about that at all. But you give up a second round pick to draft a guy and he plays as bad as this guy's been playing. It's definitely something to watch. Yeah, the drops can't happen as much. Yeah, it was horrendous. Freaking Ayuk with the first one, right on the money, perfect throw. I guess they're just used to Jimmy's catchable passes. Trey tends to put a little bit of fire on those throws, so maybe these guys just got to get used to it. Webster over James, yeah. Is that your tattoos, Luna, in that picture? Because if it is, that's pretty sweet. Every time I see Craycraft, he's dropping the ball, right? Yeah, or fair catching a punt last year that was like he had in front of him of space. So with Aaron Banks struggling at guard, who will be a starting guard? I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I would think right now, based on what we're seeing, it's probably going to be Daniel Brunskill, but hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully Aaron Banks can somehow pull his head out of his rear end and get better in the next 2 weeks because he hasn't looked really good. I heard he struggled in training camp, so we will see. Some of y'all saying Jimmy is a starter, like trying to put Trey down. Y'all whack whatsoever thinking that way. No, I mean Trey definitely have some stuff to work on, Kim, for sure. But the ability is there. I mean, if you don't see the ability, you're blind. But um, it's definitely there. He just needs refinement. Remember, he's been out a year or more. He needs reps. So he's going to make those throws into coverage that are almost intercepted. He's going to put too much mustard on a throw over the middle that's going to sail wide of a guy. He just needs time. He needs time and reps, and he'll be fine. David Lombardi says guard is a concern. David Lombardi is awesome, and I completely agree with him. Yeah, guard is definitely a concern of ours. We have some problems at right guard for sure. Craycraft needs more reps, but I see a lot of potential. Yeah, I mean, a back end of a roster player, I could see keeping him, but he's definitely not in my top 6 for sure. Yeah, I got the second place in Ink Wars for that too. That's awesome, dude. That is. Wish I had the money to get some tats, but I don't. And plus, I'm old, so I don't know. Be kind of weird to get tats at my age. Looks like Iupati is available. I think Iupati retired. I'm pretty sure Mike Iupati retired. Not positive, but I'm pretty sure. Maybe somebody can look that up for me to see if Mike Iupati retired. I'm pretty sure that happened, but I could be wrong. Tomlinson and Brunskill are starting guards. Yeah. I can't believe that you're a second round pick and you can't beat out Daniel Brunskill. That's infuriating, man, because right guard was our problem in the Super Bowl with Chris Jones owning freaking whoever was playing right guard in that game. And the fact that it's still a concern is sad. Hook me up with some ink, bro. I want to translate mural on my back. LOL, just kidding. Maybe. What's up, man? What are my thoughts on the preseason game? Up and down. I thought Trey played well in times. I feel like he can get better. I also think the receivers did him no favors, and the offensive line didn't do him any favors either. So that's kind of my evaluation on that. And then as far as the special teams, they have to get way better. Backup offensive line has to get exponentially better. They played horrendous. So yeah, those are my concerns. But again, it's the first preseason game. We have some time, and we got to remember that like most of our starters weren't playing yesterday. So keep that in mind. I have to keep that in mind. Yeah, your body did retire. Yep. That's what I thought. Hope you're doing well, 49ers Ultimate Report. Hope you're doing well. Some other news coming out of the game yesterday is during the game that I guess the Niners signed Michael Kendricks, the linebacker. He played for Seattle, was his most recent team. He had some sort of injury that ended his season last year or 2 years ago. I don't think he played last year. So the Niners definitely upgraded some depth, which I think they need to do at linebacker. But you can always try to get better. And I think with Michael Kendricks, that's definitely the case. You have Warner, you have Greenlaw. Now you have a guy like Kendricks who hopefully makes the team. You have Azeez Al-Shaair when he's healthy. And then maybe one of these undrafted or, low-level free agents that we got playing right now that can step up and, make some noise. If Tart doesn't play week 1, who starts at safety? I think Tavon Wilson, I think his name is. Yeah, because Tony Jefferson, I think, is going on IR or is hurt really bad. At least I'm not exactly sure because I heard somebody say he was going on IR, and then I looked and it said that he possibly, he's not like he hasn't been ruled out for the season. So I'm getting conflicting reports. Kendricks would mostly back up Greenlaw and Warner. Yeah, hey, yeah, that was my next point I wanted to make, Fernando. Yeah, Austin Watkins fracture in his foot, out 6 to 8 weeks. He was another guy that I was hoping would make the squad too, but it's not looking real good right now, unless they somehow stash him on the practice squad or something. But yeah, that's sad. That's sad. I was hoping he would be one of the guys that makes the roster for sure. No QB will face an actual defense. Toll the season starts, no schemes, just reaction defense. So Lance hasn't even seen defenses designed to shut down what you're doing. Yeah, he needs some work. He needs some work. He's definitely raw, but you can see the flashes of what he could be. He just needs reps, and yeah, defenses are definitely going to hone in on him. That's why I guess now that I've got to see him live and in living color, you can see why Jimmy right now is the starter. You can kind of see why. I understand now by watching. You see the real good, but you also see the things that he can improve. But it's only a matter of time. You know what I mean? I could understand, when people say he's raw and he needs work. You definitely can see that in some plays, and then in other plays he looks fantastic. Yeah, that's right. You're right. You're right. Yes, that's what I heard. It was the game we won the division. The Drake Greenlaw stop at the goal line. Yep, that's right. You are correct. Do you think Lance will get any reps with the starting line? How can they even evaluate if he's got a half a second before a sack? Yeah, they clearly don't want him running. Yeah, that's a great point. Like, how can you get an evaluation on a guy if he's playing against or playing behind such a porous offensive line? Man, that was bad yesterday. Like, how do you even have a job in the NFL playing that horrendous? God. Shanahan is playing coy with what he wants to do with Trey. Seems pretty obvious. Yeah, you don't want to show your hand in the preseason, so I understand. Thank you, Mr. Luna, for the $5 super chat. You just earned my respect by not saying deep ball. LOL. Thank you. Not exactly sure what you mean. Try explaining that to me. I'm a little lost. Thank you very much. Does Hasty make the roster with for a couple weeks? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. What's his name is out a couple weeks. I forgot about that. The other guy that got drafted. You know what I'm talking about, right? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? You know the player I'm talking about. Not Wayne Gallman, the other running back that we drafted with Trey Sermon. I'm trying to think of his name. Yeah, he's going to be out for a couple weeks. I guess he's got some sort of core issue or a rib issue or a core strain, abductor strain, something like that. So, yeah, he's going to be out a couple weeks. So, yeah, that's why we got all the bodies. Definitely, it's definitely good to have the bodies because at least with our team, it seems like running back is kind of like a turnstile as far as with guys getting hurt all the time. But yeah, I mean, it was nice to see some 49er football yesterday. It was, kind of hard to watch, the third and fourth quarter, with such bad football being played. But if anything, I was just really excited to see Trey, and I know you guys were too. Very excited about the 49ers future. The Niners are a far from perfect team. We have a lot of work to do, man. We have a lot of work to do as far as this franchise before we, could be considered, right up there with Tampa, offensive line, special teams, those things, backup corner, definitely things to work on. When you were talking about Trey Lance, you gave a realistic view why Jimmy would start. Yeah, I mean, now that I've seen the both of them, I can get it. you see the flashes. Like I said, you see the potential, but you also see the inexperience and the lack of reps. It's like the shiny new toy, you know what I mean? It's like the sports car that you haven't really driven that much that has a bunch of trinkets on it and things you don't know, and then you have your, your normal everyday beater car that you drive to work. Uh, you still trust your beater over that other car because you've driven it for so long. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the progression and uh, the maturation of Trey Lance. He's definitely one of those people that's a classroom guy. He's a studier. He's a student of the game. So to think that he's not going to get better is foolish. You know what I mean? I think he will get better for sure. After rewatching Trey Lance, I agree. Brandon Ayuk drops a pass from Trey. Trey also needs to use his legs when the pocket back. Yeah, I don't know why they had him sitting back there like a sitting duck. Now that you look at some of those highlights where he was getting sacked, like I don't know, man. Let him break out. Let him do his thing. Does Webster get special teams kickoff instead of Richie James? Nasimba Webster? Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think he earned a spot in his team last night for sure. I think Richie James is out of town soon. I see no value in him, honestly. I got to say, Trey was making throws downfield that Jimmy isn't, and he's playing behind a terrible line. Let's see Trey with the starters. Jimmy, yeah, that's another important thing we got to consider too. Um, Trey's raw. Trey needs work. Trey needs reps. But yeah, let's see him behind the starters. But the thing is, though, he's going to go against the starting defense too. So he was going against second stringers at some point, third stringers for the duration of the second and third quarter. So yeah, definitely. We got to remember it's preseason. It's one game, and to evaluate anything off of games where they don't game plan, where most of your starters aren't playing, there's no scheming going on, would be a foolish. If Trey would have came out yesterday and went 10 for 12 and threw for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, everyone would have said he's the second coming, of Mahomes or something. So I'm almost glad in a way he struggled because you got like more of a realistic viewpoint of what he really is. And he needs work. He's not a finished product by any stretch of the imagination, but you can see the talent and it's there. And if you don't see it, you're blind. So preseason football is not about winning. It's about evaluating the talent. Trey showed first one he has upside, but Trey needs to learn more. Yep, I agree. Totally agree. 49ers Ultimate Report, 100%. I'm glad I got to see Trey play. Now I understand what Luke Luna is talking about. I needed to see it. You go by camp reports, but you don't actually know what guys are doing. And to see him play and to see, some of his mistakes and stuff, it's definitely interesting that he needs a lot of work still. I'm sure they told him not to use his legs because they wanted to see him use his time wisely and learn how to go through his reads. Yep. And you don't want to put things on tape how to defend. Exactly. Yeah, you're right. All true. All true points. 100% agree. There's so much that's going into everything right now. They wanted to see him break down the coverages and make his reads. He makes his reads. Sometimes he takes a little too long. But again, it's preseason and training camp. So you want, if you're going to do that at any time, do it during that time. Don't do it during, when you're in the regular season. But yeah, he probably told them, try to, whatever you do, don't use your legs. But then again, maybe that was just the Niners game plan all along was just, or maybe Trey is doing it himself. Who knows? Like maybe Trey consciously made an effort to not run outside the pocket and kind of show the 49ers coaches that he can read defenses and he can break down coverages. Jimmy G is going to start and make this thing hum. I hope so. I think the ideal situation now that I've got to see Trey play is Jimmy starts, Jimmy plays, Jimmy ball. Defense, pass rush plays well, covers up the lack of maybe some depth in the secondary. And the running game kind of protects everybody. The running game is what kind of makes this thing go. And then, little by little, as the season goes on, we start putting Trey in there to let him experience the true game, NFL regular season against number ones. If we could do it right, I would say use Trey not like uh, not like the dude from New Orleans, but use him as a real quarterback, not as a gadget player. And that's the best way to use him. Use him little by little, sprinkle him in there, and let him put him in plays that positive things are going to come out of. You know what I mean? Like where he has a positive outcome. You know what I mean? Instead of doing it where he's in there from jump and then he has to go through all the ups and downs of a rookie player. So it'll be interesting to see how they use him this year. But I'm super excited. How cold does it get in Buffalo? And have you bought any new jerseys? I'm still haven't bought any jerseys yet. And it gets, I live in Rochester, New York. It gets pretty cold. I wouldn't say it's like the North Pole or the South Pole here, but winters are pretty bad. A lot of snow, a lot of below zero temperatures. It can get pretty rough out here. Not the worst, but I'm not living in Green Bay. I'm not living in Wisconsin or Minnesota, but pretty cold. As much as I love football, I hate the fact that the summer's ending. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword here. I'm glad it's almost September and we're getting 49er football, but I'm really upset that the summer just literally flew by. Especially now that I'm back at work and I work every day. The weeks are just flying by like nothing. So yeah. What do you guys think about Hufanga? I touched on it earlier, but Tyalona, I can't say his name. I said it earlier. Now I can't say it. Hufanga looks good. All I'll say is he looks really good. His biggest knock really is coverage and recovery speed, kind of like doing, covering downfield. But you can see where his strengths are as far as, laying the wood, coming up to make the tackle, being a really good gunner on special teams. That he said he wants to make the Pro Bowl or make an All-Pro. I forgot what he said as a special teamer. So his goal really is special teams. He even said it. So I'm hopeful that Hufanga makes this team as a gunner, special teamer, and with him and Clinton Dix back there, maybe the Niners have some depth after all. Like I said, he's got issues with speed and recovery, but he definitely is a thumper and can bring the wood. So I'm definitely high on the Hufanga train right now, and especially with how bad our special teams played. To see people that actually give some effort and actually try on special teams was nice to see, because I think some people and some players look at special teams as a demotion and as a knock on them as a player, and maybe they don't give it their all. But then you see a guy like Hufanga who is just straight bringing the thunder on special teams. So I think my two concerns right now with the 49ers, or three concerns, are this. Number one, offensive line, especially the guard position and depth. No, did not play yesterday. He hasn't been with the Niners long enough, I think, to get him on the field. So offensive line, especially right guard, is a concern of mine. Number two, special teams. Special teams is so important to be a Super Bowl team. You have to play all three phases exceptionally well. And the Niners special teams looks like it's one of the worst in the NFL right now. As of August 13th or 14th, whenever the game was. And then thirdly would be, hopefully these younger corners can get better and not be a liability in coverage if we need to go to them at some point in the season. G-Rod says, I'm very concerned about the O-line breaking down or injuries. Yeah, that offensive line looks, it's not the starters, but that right guard position That's a scary situation right now. I think Brunskill is going to start for sure. Now that I saw Aaron Banks play, and now that Aaron Banks is hurt, it'll be interesting that the Niners make any adjustments. It's to be interesting if they bring in anybody. But yeah, when you drafted him at that high, you would expect him to be good, and he looks anything but that right now. So yeah, and injuries too. We haven't had any really serious injuries to any of our high level guys except for Jaquiski Tart. There is talk that he could be ready by the early part of the season, but I've also heard that he might not be back until like the 6th week or something. So it could be a while before we see Jaquiski. But good thing that we loaded up on some depth at safety during the offseason, and we signed a guy like Clinton Dix. We signed a guy like Mykhail Kendricks at linebacker. I wish we could sign someone at guard and at corner, and then I would feel a lot better about things. But you can't do it all. There's only so much money and roster space to go around. Yeah, Banks looks really soft. Agreed. He looks really out of shape and just out of place. I expected him to come in and be in a lot better shape. He looks really soft. I completely agree. I was very disappointed. This is why you don't put starters with Trey. Need to be available to play with the starters when the season starts. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you don't want to blow your starters out in the preseason just to get them to play with Trey Lance. But I think it goes both ways. You want to get an honest evaluation with Trey Lance. You definitely want to see him with the starters as well, too, at some point. So sometime during the season, he's going to get his chance, and he'll be with the starters, and we'll get a chance to see what he looks like, with high-level players around him. Because yesterday was pretty rough to see him with that backup offensive line and guys dropping passes left and right and stuff. So I'll be definitely interested to see him when he actually gets in with the starters. But you're right. You don't want to bring starters in just to, justify him playing. So if we lose starters, we're in trouble. If we're going to make a serious run. Losing starters will kill us again this season. Yeah. That's why I'm glad that they did what they did and didn't play anybody. The Rams have shown that you don't need to play your starters in the preseason. You get most of your evaluation done in training camp anyways. So definitely interested to see how the Niners go about these next 2 games. Definitely interested to see if the special teams improves. And I'm definitely interested to see if offensive line can somehow solidify itself, at least in the backup sense, before the season starts. I hope and pray we don't lose any stars. Oh, did I read that already? I'm sorry. But I agree again. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, Banks looked really bad. Guard. I looked back at KB's comment, and it was, wow. I don't understand how Aaron Banks is that bad. I mean, he looks completely lost out there. I thought he was this big mauler that was supposed to be aggressive and this and that. He looks nothing of the sort. He looks overmatched. He looks completely overmatched. What do you guys think about as far as Trey next week? Do you think the Niners are going to put any starters with him, or do you think it's going to be more of the same where he's going to play with a lot of backups? I don't see Jimmy playing that much next week either. If they play it like the normal preseason, it would be the 3rd week. We'd get a chance to see the starters for a lot longer. But maybe Kyle and John have seen what they needed to see, and it'll be kind of just the same as the last game in the next 2 games, where we see very, very little of the starters. So, but it'd be interesting to see if we could figure out something at right guard in the next couple weeks. Hopefully, like I said, maybe there's a street free agent or someone within our own team steps up and plays better. But man, as of now, offensive line really worries me. It actually benefits Trey more by getting 8 up in the pocket, because the pressure he face with elite defense will teach him to make reads quick and get the ball out quick. Yeah. He's got the excuse right now that it's the preseason and stuff, but yeah, you're going to have to speed up your clock as far as reading defenses. Some of those plays, though, he had no time. So he didn't have any time on a couple of those plays. Like the tackle was beat off the snap, And, we're going against Spagnuolo yesterday anyways, and he likes to do stuff with the blitz and stuff. So, a learning experience. I just don't want to get our quarterback killed. I was a little bit concerned yesterday about some of the hits he was taking for sure. After all the big talk about Banks, he might want to go back to college to learn more. He doesn't look like he's ready for the NFL at all. Right? Yeah. All this talk in the draft about how physical and how much of a mauler they said he was. What's he mauling? He didn't maul anything yesterday. He looks horrible. Like, this isn't college football. You're not playing against Purdue. This is the National Football League. Very disappointing for sure. Very, very disappointing. Yeah, this team is not a finished product by any stretch of the imagination, but we also don't need to panic either. There's teams that come out and look amazing in the preseason and then play horrible. There's teams that look like trash in the preseason and then come out and play fantastic during the regular season. So I think we're somewhere in the middle. I think we have a good enough roster to compete. How much we can compete will be the question that we'll answer during the season. But I don't think we're scrubs or bums by any stretch of the imagination. But we have some places on our team where we need to find some answers, and we need to find them quick. Special teams, offensive line, and some defensive back, coming to some sort of, understanding of what we got at the defensive backfield as the preseason goes along. Player didn't. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they didn't. There was a lot of. Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, it's hard to make an evaluation of Trey, but at the same time, Trey needs work. It goes both ways. Trey needs work. Trey has things to work on. He looks still raw, but he also has that ability to make you just your jaw drop. But at the same time, you're right. He also didn't have his best offensive line around him and his best playmaker. So a fair assumption would be to say he's an incomplete evaluation still, and it's going to be some time. And if I had to play it right, I would definitely want Jimmy to start and play well and have Trey learn and get better behind Jimmy. And then eventually, when his time is right, he'll be ready. I didn't like the first with Trey early on running far back before turning around and make all the passes longer. He will benefit from Jimmy going on a two-step read and move quick. Yeah, there's definitely an elongated drop back with him a little bit. I agree. Yeah, definitely. You can see it, but like I said, I when you look at his stat line from yesterday, it was definitely, it looks bad. But, you put 3 drops in there and then you put in the pass protection. But, there was 2 throws there that he should have been intercepted on. So, like, it's not a complete evaluation yet. It's an incomplete evaluation. It's just the beginning. We got to remember he's jumping up like 2 levels of competition as well, too. So there's just a lot to take in. There's a lot to be digested. And we have to, as 49er fans, have realistic expectations, too, including myself. Because I'm a high-level expectation guy, Everybody that was Trey's first live-action to 2019, right, with the second and third string of line. I believe that might be his first rushing for first. Right. See, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It all goes into the evaluation. You can see where he needs work. But, yeah, he was playing with some of the worst football players in some positions yesterday that he's played with. And also, he hasn't played since 2019. So all that goes into the evaluation of Trey Lance. I'll keep saying this for Trey. Play the second half, and we are ahead by 2 more TDs. Anyone who isn't projected to lock for a deep playoff run in the playoffs. Okay, let me read that again. Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, why not? I would definitely bring him in if we were up by 3 touchdowns in the second half. Yeah. Let's see what he can do. Let's see him run the offense. Let's see him make positive plays and stack good plays on top of good plays. Put things on tape, that are positive. I think what you need to do as a coach, though, you got to put players in a position to succeed, though, too. plays that are manageable. If you can do it for Jimmy and he can make Jimmy look good, and with Jimmy's limited talent and ability, he has a ceiling. I think he can do it with Trey too. And Trey, the sky's the limit with Trey's talent. But if Jimmy can be, if Kyle can make Jimmy look as good as he does and work with what he has as far as talent, then he can do that with Trey Lance for sure. So I'm very confident in our coaching. I'm very confident in our front office. But like I said, that offensive line and special teams needs work, and it's a far from finished evaluation. And hopefully things get better in the next couple weeks before the regular season starts for sure. This isn't a finished product, and they have a lot to work on. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next couple weeks to see if they improve as the special teams, as the preseason goes on. I mean, you don't want to panic, but do you guys feel like our hopes are high for this new season? Then all of a sudden bad things start to happen, like losing games we shouldn't, or major injuries. Yeah. I think fans need to be realistic. The way I look at it is don't go into it with any expectations. The only expectation I have is for us to stay healthy. If we can stay healthy, and then everything else will take care of itself. If we're not ready to play, then we're not ready to play, but we'll see. Teaching to be a closer, and he'll be playing against a team trying their hardest to get back in the game. Right. Yeah. Put him in the end of games. A team trying to come back and have him have the ability to shut it down and make good decisions in crunch time, or in a time where, you're trying to retain the lead. Yeah, I definitely can see that. Team's trying to come back, and he has to learn how to make plays as the opposing quarterback, a nice third down read or third down run, whatever that may be. But yeah, the Niners are far from a finished product, and I definitely want to see more from the special teams and offensive line group for sure. What's up, man? How about Trey Lance? Woo! Long ways to go, but hey, it's okay to be excited. Setting aside hyper technicalities right now on the moment, enjoy. Exactly. That's another thing us fans need to do, all of us, is we need to sit back and also just pay attention to how, awesome it was to have some football back on the field last night and to see Trey Lance and see what he can do. But at the same time, know that the story hasn't been written yet, and we have a long way to go. So I'm holding my breath for the season because I think we can win the Super Bowl with Jimmy and Lance. Yeah, I think so too, but it's all about health, man. And Tampa's really good too, so. Webster, number 6, taking somebody's spot. I'm sick of Richie, Scary James, right? Yeah, I think he's pretty much a lock to not be on this team. Hopefully you're right. I hope Nasimba takes that spot. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me as far as what I thought yesterday. I'm excited to see us against San Diego. Like I said, I bought the stupid package for the preseason like an idiot and wasted the money, but I got to make these videos and have a YouTube channel, so I got to watch the game. So interested to see it next Sunday. Watch us play against the Chargers. Hopefully, Trey plays better, more efficient. Hopefully, the offensive line can bring its A game as far as the backups go, and maybe play a little bit better. And who knows? Like I said, maybe at the end of this preseason, when we're getting ready to go into the season, and a team cuts a corner off their roster that's a veteran, the Niners, I wouldn't be against them signing somebody like that. Anybody, a guy that a guy that's a little bit older on a roster that is a veteran corner, I would definitely leave that open to consideration. As much as I love Richard Sherman, I don't think he's at that place to be the veteran corner that we all want and need on this team. If it happened that they ended up re-signing him, I wouldn't be totally against it, but at the same time, I like to see some fresh blood. So, yeah, corner, offensive line, and getting Trey more reps. And there's a lot to work on. We have a lot to work on. We have a lot to be excited for. Hopefully we can stay healthy and everybody can make it through the next couple weeks without any serious injuries. And we can go to Detroit week 1 and do our business and go from there. So I'm excited about this season. Thank you for the $5 super chat to help you with your purchase and to watch and study. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I have to buy it. I mean, if I'm going to be on here talking, I have to watch the game. So I had to, I put it on one of my credit cards. You know, I'll pay for it in installments. You got to do what you got to do. I have a green screen off to my left here that I got to get a light for. I'm going to try some things to make this background not be a bedroom, over time. I'm trying different things for my channel to try to up the production value. If you're going to do stuff like this, you have to try to, make the production value be somewhat quality. Doing it on your cell phone doesn't always come out the best. So I had in mind idea what I wanted to do when I first started, and I've still got a ways to go as far as my channel and, the stuff that I want to do for it. But appreciate the $5 super chat, Luke Luna. I hope everybody has a great evening. Hopefully the Niners, don't have any more injuries and we can make it to next week and we can play well and we can all be happy and Trey Lance will look great and all that stuff. Hopefully the offensive line plays better. Just hoping for all positive stuff next Sunday with the Chargers. So until then, actually, I'll probably be on at some point during the week again, if anything drops or changes. But until then, I am going to get going. I have to be to work early tomorrow morning. And I appreciate the compliment, Luke Luna. I think the authenticity of what your setup looks like. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys for coming in here and supporting me. Thank you very much. Hopefully I'll be on sometime again this week early. And if not, I might see you guys on Sunday after the game. It all depends. It's hard for me sometimes. Depending on my work schedule, I have to adjust how long I'm going to be on stream or when I can do it because I have a work schedule that's all over the place. So thanks everybody for coming in. Thank you, Jay, for the compliment. Thanks everybody who gave me a super chat. Thank you for everybody else who was in here that is just supportive by being here. And you guys all have a great night. Remember, we all love the same team. So, we're all fans of the 49ers. And let's keep the positive energy and the good juju for this team. Hopefully they do well this year, and we'll have something to smile about in February. So, but we got a long ways to go. One preseason game. Nothing's been written yet. And I can't wait to see you guys next time. All right, everybody, take care and have a great day. All right, great evening. See ya.